I got a two.
Today's show is brought to you by High Tech Tactical, Hoosier Racing Tire, Steve's Auto Machine. Also brought to you by 41 Shocks, Knockout Graphics, Smiley's Racing Products, Bulletproof Products, Donco Plumbing, Schonefeld Headers, FB Designs, Ibex Race Bumpers, and RLD Productions. Now back to our show, Sooners Limited Modified Series. And a good evening. Welcome to the Sooner Limited Modified Series, live right here on Dirt Track Racing Network. All the way from Oklahoma is Larry Carr and Damian Bean. How's it going, gentlemen?
It's going pretty good over here, Richie. How you doing, Damian?
Oh, not too bad. Worn out after a hard day's work, but ready for a Thursday night edition of the show, and got some guys that we haven't had the opportunity to talk to before on the show tonight, so it should be good, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. One of them kind of an old buddy of mine, and the other one I'm not real familiar with, but I hope to get familiar with as the days and weeks go by, and we go around from track to track with the Sooner Limited Modified Series. Oh, man, I haven't even popped a cold one yet. I'm just now pulling in the driveway, so I'm going to have to play catch-up here.
But first, you got to catch up.
Well, yeah, we took a week off. We took the week off last week and didn't have a show. We all had different things going on, but we have had a night of racing since we last spoke to y'all here and out at Enid for the Twister Nationals, second annual Twister Nationals. Taking a look at how that night played out, bringing home the win was Woodward, Oklahoma's Brandon Kinney, followed by Mr. Sport Mod Robert Elliott, the Hitman Heston Shaw with another top three finish again this week. Then it was Dustin Donnelly, Mike Roach, David Givens, two races in a row for him. He's picked up the heat win. He got himself a good finish in the A. Troy Byram, Matthew Smith, Todd Decker, Mark Harrison, Mark Smith, Courtney McCartney, man. I do believe she was the hard charger. I think she started 18th or something like that. Made her way up there to 12th, so good run for her. Slade Roach, Jared Baird, Jonathan Morgan, and Brian Bird. Garrett Donnelly, Don Reed, Jimmy Wright, and Caleb Roach rounded out the field. It was a good night of racing out there at Enid for us. We looking forward to, I believe it's June 2nd. We'll get the next race going out there. And I can hear Larry getting in the house, getting his notebook out and flipping through the pages as we speak. It sounds like you're almost ready to go, brother.
All right. Now I'm home. Thanks for filling in, Damien. Yeah, as you were saying, a pretty great night of racing up there at Enid, and I'm sure Robert Elliott and Brandon Kinney absolutely agree with that one. And a heck of a night there again for Heston Shaw. That guy, he's proven that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in this super modified series. And if I remember what I saw in the points the other day,
he's still third.
And Heston's in there.
Yeah, Heston is in third, 38 points out. Baird's second, 32 points out. So it's the top three are right there. I mean, even looking down at fourth, Don Reed, he's 81 points out. Todd Decker is, I believe, 90 points out. So top five are within 100 points. It's still anybody's ball game. I know last week, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how, it's so early. We're only 4 races in. We're talking about points, but, with the caliber of guys that we got, even missing one night can dramatically affect you in the point standing. So every point's going to count for this 2018 season for these guys. It's going to be a grind, man. It's going to. I think it's going to come down to the wire, Larry. I think the last race of the season is going to, give us our actual champion.
I think you're right, because I don't think there's going to be any way that anybody can get just a dominant performance. The variation in tracks, seems to play into certain people's favor a little more than others. Plus, as yet, we've yet to see very much of Brandon Kinney down at like Ada or Meeker, so I don't know what, he can probably do down there. Whereas, we've seen him, what he can do at Enid. He's pretty well established that quite well. Elliott seems to find his way to the front no matter what track we go to. And Heston...
They don't call him Mr. Sport Mod for a reason,
No, that's not just a name that we threw out there because it sounds neat. I kind of hooked that name on him for a reason. Back in the day, I was used to watching him come around and just sweep whenever he came, and he still does. Still a dominant driver. So it's going to be really interesting in this race this Friday night, dude. I am so pumped, and I just can't believe that my schedule has got me going somewhere else. Because what better way to pay homage to those that have gone before us, those that paid the ultimate sacrifice, the fallen heroes of this country. What better way than to get our group together and go out there and put in a 50-lap race with full introductions in the front straightaway, and the kids and the grown-ups are going to get autographs from the drivers, and it's just going to be a great night. I mean, a great night.
Yeah, second annual Fallen Hero 50 out at Meeker tomorrow night, as a matter of fact.
Tomorrow. 50 laps. 50 lap A feature.
On that new little bull ring, those guys are going to be elbows up and have their hands full for 50 laps. That's going to be a wild race.
And it'll be interesting to see, too, because it's been a track where there really is a couple of different ways around that track, and that's been proven by a couple of guys that I'm going to throw a little name dropping really quick. Jeff Roselle has shown over and over that you can do the catfish number and come out on top. And Mr. Jared Baird has shown that if you put that thing up on the top and stand on her, you might just find yourself in the front several times. So
you might just be a wheelman.
You might just be a wheelman, absolutely, sir. Because last time we saw him down there, he put that thing up in the top groove and he stood on it, and he come from way back in the field and to the front. So
yeah, there was quite a few guys I know when even within our series that when they first redid that track, they was like, man, I just don't know. But I haven't heard anybody say that they haven't liked it. That place is racy, man. I love it. Like I've every time we talk about it, I've always said it, and I'll continue to say it. It reminds me of a true Midwest bull ring. I mean, you're within. The great thing about that racetrack now is when you get a field of drivers like we usually get out there within the series, you've got great racing from front to back. There are no slackers. But the thing about that track is if you have a bad heat race, you have, just a bad night. You start towards the back, you can't make your way forward, and you're starting in the back of the feature. Man, within 5, 7, maybe 10 laps, those guys who are up front fighting, they're not only fighting each other, but when they catch lap traffic, man, it's a race within a race. It's just awesome to watch. And if you haven't been, tomorrow night is going to be the night to go for the Fallen Hero 50.
Absolutely. It's not going to be one of those events, and typically has not been. The racing out there has not been one of those deals where, it's freight train racing or the only racing is out front. When we go down to Red Dirt, we got racing all over the track, and if you're not watching everywhere all the time, you're going to miss some action because there's a 3 and 4 wide, not just up front, but all the way through the field.
All the way. Yep, all the way. And the good thing about it, you just kind of hinted on it, you really can't look anywhere around that racetrack come feature time, even heat race time, and not see good action. But especially for the features, man, you got a full field of cars out there. You've got them 2 and 3 wide from the front to the back, and it's awesome to see. But
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, finish up.
I was going to move on to something else real quick.
Oh, okay. Well, then, as a fan or an announcer, you got to keep your head on a swivel because you're going to miss something if you don't. And because stuff happens really, really quickly. It's going to be a great event down there. And of course, we also want to mention the fact, and we'll come back to this over and over tonight, but we've got some important sponsors for that event. Quick Rescue Roof has taken on the halfway mark sponsorship, and they will give the leader at 25 laps a new roof kit of their choice of color. And if you're not familiar with Quick Rescue Roof, I suggest that you check them out. It's a really neat new type of quick exit, quick removal system for dirt cars, so that in the event that the track ever has to get you out of a car, that it's a whole lot quicker and a whole lot easier for them to do so. And that's a great, great deal for them there to come on board and sponsor us like that. And then Bulletproof Tees and Screen Printing, who designed the Fallen Hero 50 T-shirts. And, man, Stevie said that they knocked it out of the park. Dude, they knocked it way out of the
Grand
park.
Slam.
Some great, great shirts. And I got my order put in so I can get 2 of them because I'm not going to be there. And I know me and a certain young lady have got to have a T-shirt from this because that's just something that you're going to want to keep. They've put up, on top of being the designers of the T-shirts and providing us with the T-shirts, helping us out on that end, they've put up $100 for the Hard Charger Award on top of Ibex Motorsports' current Hard Charger Award of a free front bumper. And what the Hard Charger is that's the driver that passes most cars in the features. So there's going to be some great stuff going home with these guys. Plus, Cody Brewer, Red Dirt Raceway, always thinking outside the box, always like to throw something new in the loop. He says, hey, I'm throwing out a challenge. If whoever gets the pole on Friday night wants to start tail back and win, I will double the purse.
Oh, buddy.
So the
I
winner
can
will
think
take
of
home
a few
double
guys.
the money.
I can think of a few guys right off the top of my head that I think would, if they were put into that position, I do believe there's at least 3, maybe 4 guys that can do it, can pull it off legitimately.
It took me literally 10 seconds to think of 4 drivers who not only have what it takes gut-wise to gut up and try it, but also the possibility to win it. And that says something about the caliber of drivers that are driving in the Sooner Limited Modified Series right now, that you can, name 4 or 5 drivers that quickly that without a doubt would put up or shut up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I've got a few phone calls already about that, and they said they will do it. And
yeah. There you go. Cody Brewer throws down the gauntlet, and the drivers respond. I think we're going to see somebody take him up on that challenge.
I have seen that done in the past.
They're not doing it for the money; they're doing it for the bragging rights.
Right. I've seen it done in the past in sprint cars, and I've seen it done successfully, and I've seen it done not so successfully. I've seen a guy work his tail off one night and only get up to fourth. That's still pretty good if you think about it. I mean, that's, but it didn't get him the whole enchilada. But I'm telling you something, when they do get it, it's right. It's not about the dollars. It's about those bragging rights because, it's like I beat you twice. So,
well, real quick before we get on with our first guest, we got a little bit of an announcement today. We have been added, the series I'm speaking of, September 15th. If you've wanted the opportunity to go to 81 Speedway, well, folks, the series is on the schedule for the 15th at 81 Speedway. So be sure and put that on your calendars. That's a new event just added to the schedule. So pack your bags, pack some coolers, lawn chairs, sleeping bags, whatever you need to take north with you and head up to 81 Speedway. We're going to go up there and play with those boys for a little bit. And, man, that's another new racetrack for me. I've never been to that place.
I haven't either, and I looked at my schedule, and unfortunately I've got a wedding that night, so I won't be at 81 Speedway. I'm already committed to this, or I would change it, but, it is what it is.
I will have to look at the schedule. If we're not racing out at Enid, I got you covered, buddy. So don't worry. We got that.
I figured you'd step right in, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean.
Well, Mr. Carr, I do believe our first guest is on with us.
That's about what I was going to say. Was I think that Frank Stapp's on the line. Frank, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Mr. Frank Stapp, driver of the 10G Sooner Limited Modified Series car. Frank is from Ada, Oklahoma, right? Maud, Oklahoma. And so first of all, tell us about Frank. How old are you? Are you married, kids?
I'm 30 years old. Not married, no kids.
You're married to that race car in the garage.
Yeah, that pretty much feels like it anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what I thought we'd do, if you didn't mind. I thought we'd like to talk about your history, how you got started and everything. And if you don't mind, I'd like to split it up. I'd like for you to start with your history as the 25 car. And I know a little bit about why you're in the 10G, and I want to talk about that. And I know that's kind of intertwined with the 25, but if you don't mind, can we talk first about the 25 and about Frank Stapp, and then we'll go on from there and talk about what happened and how you got to be driving the 10G and why and all of that?
Yes, sir, I can. I started about 17 years old in the pure stock, the 25 pure stock. We ran about 4 or 5 years in it. Said if I come in the top 3, I was going to move up. We ended up in a sport mod after that. Then we raced it for a while out there at 8 only, and we started moving around a little bit in the 25 car. We bought a couple different 25 cars along the way, and then last year we were in the orange one, and we hit the wall at Ada, which totaled it out. So we had to change over, and whenever my good friend Cody passed away, his parents gave me his car and all his equipment. Said, here, you have it, do what you want with it. So we built an NG car. And put in memorial of him on the side, everything like that.
Right. Let's talk about Cody Goss for a little bit. You guys go back a long way.
Yeah, we were in the same school together. So we've known each other. I've known him for a long time.
And tragically, Cody was a sport mod driver also out at Ada.
Yes, we built his first pure stock out here at my mom and dad's place. He drove it a couple years, and he decided he wanted to play with us, so he went and bought him the car I have now. And he was going to sell this car, and he was on his way to pick up another car whenever the accident happened.
And he and his girlfriend both were tragically killed.
Yes.
Yeah. And then because of your friendship with him, his parents asked you if you would take over the car, or just gave you the car. And you thought it would be a great tribute to Cody to continue, and because the 10G was his number.
Yes, it was. And actually what we were doing was we were making an E-mod out of it. It ran E-mod for a while for one of my nephews. He was real close to Cody too, so we put it together for him. And then once I tore mine up, we transferred everything up over into that car, and now we're running it.
All right. So that brings us up to today, or recently anyway. You guys have been doing pretty good. How do you like running with the Sooner Limited Modified Series?
I like it a lot. It helps me out a lot. I don't have much experience on traveling and going to different tracks, and that's what I'm after. I'm not the fastest car. Don't plan on being the fastest car, but I'm going to have fun while I'm doing it. So that's what we're all out to do.
Well, I'm going to give a shout-out to you, and I'm going to talk about you a little bit. I'm probably going to embarrass you a little bit, but nobody will know because we're on the radio and they can't see that you're turning red. But you and Preston and Cody, back in the day when I first came down to Ada and first started announcing down there, you guys made me feel very welcome, and you've always gone out of your way to come over and say hello and everything. And I just want to tell you that's cool. That's really cool, and I really appreciate that. And you guys are some of the hardest working drivers out there. You guys are not big budget, right? Would you agree with that? You're not big budget, and you don't always have the greatest luck in the world, but you and Preston, you guys just keep going, you keep trying, you keep coming back, and you've impressed the heck out of me over the years.
Yeah, we try as hard as we can. I mean, we do what we can with what we got.
I think he said it best just a minute ago. He's out there to have fun.
Yep, that's what we do it for, is to have a good time, and I think we do pretty good at it.
I think you do too.
I want to ask. I'd like to go back a little bit. Whenever your friend passed away and his parents approached you with his entire racing operation, take us back to that moment emotionally. I mean, mentally. I mean, when they said that to you, I mean, what was your initial reaction to such a generous gift?
I really didn't have none because I was still so been out of shape over the passing of him that I really didn't take to consider that too much. But then afterwards, I set up the memorial race out there at Ada for him and stuff like that, and it started hitting me a little bit harder. And normally, you don't have the guy's car in one piece in a memorial race. Well, it was in a million pieces 2 weeks before that because he was about to sell it. Well, me, my dad, my friend Neil Bob here, and everybody, we got out here, we put it all back together, got it back to where it can pretty much race just to take it out there for him that weekend.
Now, when something like that happens, I mean, there aren't a lot of people, a lot of racers out there that could say they've ever been in that situation and received what you got. And did that in any kind of way light a fire under you? Did it make the passion burn hotter for racing to just put everything into it? Was it one of those things that could have maybe been like a career-changing moment where you went from you were going in one direction and then you get this opportunity, and then was it something you just grabbed with both hands and ran with, or did you kind of keep at the same pace of where you was?
We kind of grabbed it with both hands and ran with it. I mean, we definitely got more into it. We were already pretty deep, but we definitely got more into it, given that opportunity that we had there, and that's how we did it. So,
man, that's just an awesome story, Larry. I hear something like that, and you hear about all over the country. You know, everybody's got that racing family, and since I've been in Oklahoma, man, I've got to say, as someone that's new to Oklahoma, the camaraderie within the racing family here it's pretty damn good. You guys should be fortunate, and hats off to everybody for doing what you do for your fellow competitors, because that's just the level you see it at here. You don't see that across the country. There's something special here. Maybe it's the red dirt you do for your fellow competitors, because that's just the level you see it.
Well, these guys are pretty close. You know, they've grown up together, and you know, some of them. All of them actually have raced together for a while. You know, most of all of our competitors at least are familiar with each other, if not know each other. And so, yeah, but it's a great camaraderie. It's a great group of guys. And it's just great to be a part of. So I take it, Frank, that the superstition about green didn't bother you at all in the whole deal.
Oh, no,
as far as green.
I did not care whenever it comes to this. I'd paint if it was all green. I would still
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. We've been doing a really great job, and I'm telling you, we're looking for big things from Frank Stapp and the TNG in the coming weeks and months. What are your plans for down the road? For just mostly going to travel with the series, or stay at Ada?
We'll probably try to travel with the series. It's a lot of fun. We're going to try to put the other car back together so we can set this one off to the side again. We'll see what happens. But we're going to try to get the other one put back together and get back in the 25 car.
And what about down the road in, say, 2019? Anything different, or just going to stick with sport mod racing?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with sport mod racing. It's real competitive, and I like a challenge. So.
You talk about the competition level.
I'm
sorry, buddy.
Go ahead, man.
You hit on the competition level here. That it's really good. You enjoy the travel. And who are some of the guys that you look forward to when you're in the pits and you're pulling in, or you see them pull in? You're like, man, I know I'm going to have some fun racing with that guy. Are you getting an opportunity to get some of those names now that you're traveling around a little bit? And I think if I'm doing my math right, you've been at this for 13 years. So who are those guys for you? Who do you like racing with?
Well, like a lot of my ADA guys that I grew up racing with down there, those guys I really enjoyed racing with. I don't race with them much anymore. We have a pier stock that we take out every now and then just to go race with them guys. But those guys I really miss not getting the opportunities to race with. But for the most part, I mean, I know of a lot of the series guys. I know the fast ones for sure. Other than that, I mean, whenever I pull in, I try to focus on what's going on and try to get the car to somewhat handle for me. So that's kind of my main goal. I get so focused.
Right. Now, I'm not from Oklahoma. I'm originally from the Midwest. I want to ask you about what got you into racing. Were you a first-generation racer? Are you a multi-generation racer? And, was it a friend that got you into it? I mean, how did that all come about? I know you said you started when you were 17.
Yeah, I started when I was 17. I just had a passion for cars, and I'm the first-generation racer. I just had a passion for cars, wanted to race and learn how to mechanic on them, so me and my dad got out here and built one. Well, going on the racetrack the first time, I couldn't drive. I was so scared. But we got out there. We had fun. Had some issues, of course. Pulled the steering wheel off in the race. I mean, I broke my fears a lot of fears right there. And then we just kind of slowly got better, faster along the way, and then we decided to go ahead and move up because I totaled that pier stock out hitting the wall at Ada, and that I didn't have a car, so we went and bought a faster car. And that's
usually what happens.
Yeah.
So what do you like to do away from the racetrack?
Go ahead.
What was that?
Sorry, Larry. There was just a pause.
You're all right. No, go ahead.
Talk about a little bit what you do away from the racetrack. You got other kind of hobbies? You a hunter? You a fisherman? I mean, what else do you like to do other than race?
Well, race. That's about it. And then I have a razor we ride every week, but not very often. Other than that, I work a lot, and putting in the winters, my job really kicks off, and I'm working a lot in the winter. So I work, race, and that's about it.
Gotcha. Well, Larry, you got anything else, buddy?
Well, yeah, we're going to go to commercial here in a few minutes, but before we do, there's got to be a bunch of people, Frank, involved in this, and I know there's a ton of people you want to thank, and so now's the time, buddy.
Well, first of all, my parents, they support me a lot in this, and I've got my buddy Neil Bob. He works on the car. He doesn't let me touch it when I get to the racetrack. Really like to thank him. I got Craig Richards. He goes with us everywhere we go. He also works on it. And then I got Krista Green, which is my girlfriend of 7 years. and she puts up with all of it and cooks for all of us, so I can't complain there. And as far as
7 years, and she cooks for all of you and supports you in your racing. Put a ring on it, dude. Put a ring on it.
I get harassed all the time over that deal. She's also my boss's daughter. So.
Well, what are you waiting for, man? It's been 7 years.
Hey, here you go, Frank, right now. Here's your opportunity. You're not going to get a better one than this. I'm sure she's listening. She knows you're on.
Ain't going to happen.
Oh, well, buddy, I want to thank you very much for being with us this evening. Just all the greatness in the world to you. Pass along my love and appreciation to the Goss family for everything that they've done, and we always keep them in our thoughts and our prayers, and I know you keep Cody with you all the time. So it's been great having you on, and it's always great seeing you at the track. And I guess we'll see you. Well, no, I won't see you tomorrow night. Are you going to be down there tomorrow night?
Yeah, we'll be down there tomorrow night. Me and Preston both will.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
Well, make me proud.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Frank Stapp, everybody. Okay, so, Richie, I guess it's that time.
Hey, we're in trouble, buddy. I just want you to know that we are not going to get. We're getting no love from him at the racetrack. His girlfriend might be like, you see what they said? Oh, dude, we're in trouble.
Oh, yeah. You know what we just did, right? You know what we just did. Yeah. Yeah.
A career-changing moment where you went from...
What was that? Oh, somebody listening to the show. All right, you want to take a break, guys?
What do you say?
Yeah, let's take a quick break and do a commercial.
This Friday night, live at Red Dirt Raceway, we don't just stand for our troops, we run 50 action-packed laps at our second annual Fallen Hero 50 Sooner Limited Modified Series race, live at Red Dirt Raceway this Friday night. Admission is $15 for adults. Children under 54 inches tall get in free. That's right, folks. 50 action-packed laps to pay respect to the heroes that never came home. Now stand up, raise your flag, and get ready for the loudest salute ever on dirt. The pole sitter that chooses to start last and wins will double your money. Presented by Patriot Dodge of Chandler, Oklahoma, the Fallen Hero 50 at Red Dirt Raceway. You won't want to miss it. Come out to Red Dirt Raceway and pay your respect to our fallen heroes of military, police, fire, and EMS. Anyone in uniform or with proper military, police, fire, or EMS ID get free admission this Friday night. The Fallen Hero 50, live at Red Dirt Raceway. And we're back live right here on Sooner Limited Modified Series on Dirt Track Racing Network with Larry Carr and Damian Bean all the way down there from Oklahoma. We just spoke to Frank Stapp, and now I guess they're going to bring on their next guest. Go.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, well, if you want to.
Are you sure about that?
He's on there waiting.
Yeah, are you sure about that?
We could do that. We could do that.
My hands to come in.
I mean, he's on the phone. We could talk to him, I suppose.
We could. We could ask him if he's a hunter.
Don't do much hunting.
Well, if you did, you should get... Ow. Hang on, guys. I got to plug in here. I'm about to die. Take it, Larry.
Okay. So we're back.
Sorry.
We've got our second guest on, Brandon. It's Brandon Greitz. Is that correct, Brandon?
Yeah, it's Greitz.
Greitz. See, I've been saying it wrong for however long we've had you in the series, and now I got it right. And as I mentioned a while ago, we were talking about before you came on, and I was like, well, you know, even if I've been saying his name long, at least I've been mentioning his name, so you must be doing something right.
Well, or I'm wrecking, and you say he's over in turn 3.
So you plowed your way. Plowed is probably a good word now. Plowed your way into the top 10 and points. How's that feel?
Feels pretty good. Should be doing a little better than that, but you know, had some bad luck, a few races, and it happens.
Absolutely, happens to all of us. So tell us the Brandon Greitz story. How did you get involved in racing? Are you? Well, let's see. How old are you? Are you married or single? And got kids?
I'm 23 years old, and I'm getting married Saturday.
Oh, that's right. He's the guy that I was supposed to be talking out of getting married. Well, we were talking Frank into getting married. Well, have you really thought this through, young man?
I guess.
You guess. You better say yes, dude.
He's probably listening right now. So
He's probably listening. You better say yes, positive. I'm absolutely convinced this is what I want to do. I love her with my whole heart.
The correct answer was I knew from the beginning.
Yeah, that is the correct answer.
I knew you'd correct me.
Let's talk about your 2018 so far, man. How's it been for you? Are you living up to your expectations so far? Or what have you found you need to improve on? I mean, how's it been for you so far?
Oh, I wouldn't say I've lived up to my expectations, but we've done a lot more racing this year than we have previously. So, but like I said, driver errors, bad luck. Hopefully it'll get better this weekend.
Now, when you're not running with the series, what track do you call home? Where have you been running at?
We try to run at Enid, and then that's where I actually live, and then my car's down here at my uncle's house in Edmond, so we try to run Meeker too. So,
are we going to see you tomorrow night out there for the Fallen Hero 50?
Do what?
So, will we be seeing you out there tomorrow night for the Fallen Hero 50?
Yeah, I'll be out there. I'm working on my car now while my uncle's riding around on the lawnmower trying to distract everybody.
Is he cutting anything, or is he just playing?
He's just playing.
Okay. Well, that's acceptable, I guess.
Hey, I'm gonna whoop him this weekend, so he can play all he wants. But he needs to be working on his car.
Well, as a driver,
Go ahead.
What's your mindset coming into tomorrow night? Meeker, we've talked about it earlier in the show. It's smaller, it's faster, it's racier. 50 laps, man. How do you go into that? You got a mindset that you're going to just kind of ride for a little while and see what happens? Or, you know, if you're starting up towards the front, is it hammer down and go?
That's what I was going to ask. You ever run 50 laps before?
I haven't. You got to finish 50 laps first, but the first series race, I didn't really had some car problems and couldn't get around the track very good. And then we actually went there last weekend, and the car was really good, but with 2 laps to go, I got into the track tire. So that's what we're fixing now is the front end. But after running last weekend, I think the car's ready to go. I mean, hopefully get us top 10 or something. And
what about the driver coming into this knowing you're fixing to be elbows up for 50 laps? I mean, how do you mentally prepare yourself for that?
Well, it's not necessarily mentally. You got to be physically prepared too. It's a long race.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to be in you got to
hydrate.
You got to be in racing shape to be able to do that many laps. You know, especially if you do 50 laps straight with no cautions. I mean, it'll wear
Drink
you out.
a lot of water. You'll thank me later.
See, it's hard to mentally prepare yourself for a race when you're getting married the next night.
True that. I don't even know how you're focusing on the race.
Is that going to be your bachelor party? I mean, a night at the races? You guys are going to party it up when it's all said and done?
We already did that.
Oh. I was hoping it would be a community party.
Well, we accept free beer, just no Coors Light.
Have you?
Oh well.
Do you have a plan for tomorrow night? As far as, are we going to go down on the bottom? We're going to go up high. We're just going to see what works for the setup that you come up with.
Well, we'll see what works. Last week I stuck it to the bottom, but the track was actually faster around the top. But I was doing good around the bottom, so I just left it there. But now I wish I would have went up to the top side and tried it out. But we'll be a little more prepared for next week, or tomorrow, I should say.
And if you were to say you had a strategy, would your strategy be more to get up front and stay up front for the whole deal, or lag back for a while and let some people knock each other out and try to hang on to the, come in maybe in the last 25 and get up front? Or is there
it really just depends. It really just depends on where you start. But I mean, obviously, if you start at the very back, you gotta be patient. It's 50 laps, but if you start, in the front, middle of the pack, you gotta stick with them and try to gain a couple spots when you can, and not fall back and try to stay out of trouble.
Kind of sound to me like patience isn't a big problem for you.
Well,
are you a patient guy?
Sometimes it is, but
yeah,
you live and learn. That's what seat time helps that. So
right. How'd you get into racing? You've got a racing relative, don't you?
Yeah, my uncle is Todd Decker. I basically grew up at the track with
Todd
him.
Decker.
That's the one I'm going to beat tomorrow night.
That's who you're going to beat tomorrow night, huh? Challenge on, huh?
He don't even know I'm saying it because he's mowing the grass.
Yep. He's mowing the grass. Well, you got him where he needs to be right now. So how long have you been racing?
Well, he got me into the Bomber at Enid Speedway about 5-6 years ago, but I mean we never really had luck with those either. You buy those $500 cars, they don't run very well. And then about 3 years ago, I got a sport mod and wrecked it at Longdale. And then 2 years ago, my uncle gave me this other car. And well, I wouldn't say he gave it to me, but he had a spare laying around that we got back together. And now I've just been running it.
How do you like running with the Sooner Limited Modified Series?
It's really fun. I mean, it's fun to travel and go to different tracks. To me, it helps with seat time because you get to learn. You get to learn things. If you go to one track all the time, you learn to race that one track, and you don't really learn anything else. But we went to 3 or 4 different tracks this year already, and it's kind of an eye opener on how different tracks run and how you can figure out if you need to run the top or the bottom and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Anybody in particular in the series that it would just tickle your fancy to beat?
Oh, any of those
Todd
guys
Decker.
up there. I mean, Robert Elliott, Todd Decker, Heston Shaw, Brandon Kinney, Don Reed. Really, any of those guys. They're all fast. It's a tough series. I mean, they all got a lot of, good cars, good drivers.
Is he still out there cutting the grass?
Yeah, he is.
Is he turning to the left? Is he turning to the left?
Yeah, he's turning left.
No, he's going. Well, he just went. He's going right and then left. Now he's running.
Running
over dirt mounds.
Does he know you're on an interview right now?
That's why he's mowing the grass.
We should play a trick on him. Say he's got a phone call. Act like we're the chief of police. We had a noise complaint.
I need to start throwing rocks at him.
Well, man, what's the future hold for your racing career, man? Where would you like to see yourself go?
I mean, I don't think I'll move out of Oklahoma, so, just stick with probably a sport mod or something and, eventually get a new car. And, I'm running probably a 10-year-old chassis. I couldn't even tell you what it is. But, eventually spend a little more money, get better stuff, and start getting top fives regularly and finishing races regularly.
Jamie, you still there?
I'm here. I was waiting on you to say something.
I was waiting on my partner.
I'm having microphone issues at the second, bud.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
How about as always, we always like to give everybody an opportunity to thank those people that make this happen for them. So now's the time. Is there anybody in particular that you want to mention or give a shout out to? Sponsors?
Well, for sure, Todd Decker. I mean, he helps me set up the car, teaches me stuff. A lot of times I put my car back together, and he points out what I did wrong. Or, then you got my dad. He owns A&L Graphics. He does all of our graphics for us, and it's pretty nice to have your dad do your graphics. You just got to mow his grass one time or something, and then get it for free.
There you go.
I sell cars at Stevens Ford, so that's where most of my money comes from, is out of my own pocket. But and then Harris Training, he's out of Enid, Oklahoma. He'll hook you up with a diet, a training program, whatever you need to get in shape. He's helped me out a little bit, pit pass here and there. And you got McCartney Welding. He buys a lot of stuff from me, and he helps me out here and there on the car too when I need it. Pointers, and if I need a part or something here and there that he's got laying around. So really, that's about it. I mean, then you got your crew. My brother helps me out at the track. Jimmy Manhart goes out there, helps out me and Todd. Just all your friends. It's like a family sport out there.
Right. Well, and who's the lucky young lady?
Her name is Micah Fleming.
Well, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
And good luck with your future. And we hope to see you. I guess Damien will see you tomorrow night at the Red Dirt Raceway. I won't be there, but I know Damien will be. And so we'll see you at the racetrack.
All right. We'll see you guys there.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Lots still more to talk about.
Am I working properly now?
Yeah, you're on. I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yes. Damn thing. Been having microphone issues here for the last couple of minutes. I wasn't quite sure he was getting all my questions.
Right. Want to mention, we were talking about all the stuff that's going on tomorrow night at Red Dirt Raceway. We want to go over that again. We want to talk about Bulletproof Tees and Screen Printing, who've designed the T-shirts for the fall in Euro 50, have added a $100 hard charger award on top of the free front bumper from Ibex Motorsports, the normal hard charger award. And then the leader at 25 laps is going to get a new roof kit from Quick Rescue Roof, your choice of color, whoever the winner is. And we really thank them for that. And as always, we need to mention our sponsors of the series, and that's FB Designs and Hoosier Racing Tires, Schoenfeld Headers, Knockout Graphics, Smiley's Racing Products, Bulletproof Products, Donco Plumbing, TCC, that's Total Custom Carbs and Dyno, 41 Shocks. Oh, the 41 Shocks also give an award every race with the Sooner Limited Modified Series. The Move of the Race Award comes from 41 Shocks. And that one usually is voted on between those of us in the leadership of the series, whoever we think made the smartest or the best move of the night. Steve's Auto Machine, High Tech Tactical. And while we're talking about High Tech Tactical, let's not forget that we're giving away a hunting rifle this year, a 270 Savage Trophy Hunter, and that's going to be given away at the end of the year. It looks like tickets are $10 for a buck, or excuse me, $10 for one. $10 for one ticket, 3 tickets for $20, 7 tickets for $40, and if I remember correctly, you can pay on PayPal. You can get them at the track. If you call Stevie, he can get them for you. If you go on to Facebook on the Sooner Limited Modified Series page and post a message to us, we'll figure out how to get tickets to you if you're interested in tickets. Again, those are $10 a piece, 3 for $20, or 7 for $40. Talking about coming up tomorrow night at Red Dirt Raceway. Oh, I missed a couple of our sponsors. Images x2, Gary Pig and Joey Lambert. Those people take some excellent pictures and always travel around with the series, and we appreciate them very, very much. Liz Lambert, excuse me, and Ibex Race Bumpers, Ibex Motorsports also sponsors the Sooner Limited Modified Series. Tomorrow night at Red Dirt Raceway, Fallen Hero 50 going to honor all military vets, firefighters, all
EMT.
military, all veterans, all firefighters, all law enforcement, EMS, EMT, whatever. If you're one of what they call first responders, or if you have been or are currently in the military and you can show some form of ID to the people at the gate, you're going to get in free tomorrow night. So if you got your military ID or your disabled vet card or whatever, show that to them there at the gate there for Red Dirt Raceway tomorrow night, and you guys are going to get in the grandstands for free. 50-lap A feature, the Sooner Limited Modified Series. That is going to be an event. I mean, just an absolute event.
But wait, it gets better. If you weren't with us earlier in the show when Stevie was on with us, Cody Brewer has stepped up to the plate in a huge way. He's made this really, really interesting for these guys. You have the opportunity, the pole sitter, if you make it through your heat races and you somehow are lucky enough to start on the pole for this 50-lap feature, if you choose to do so, you can start from the rear, and you have a chance to not only take home some money, you could take home $1,500 if you get yourself from the back to the front, win the race. He doubles your prize money. So that's another incentive. Tomorrow's going to be awesome, Larry. I'm sorry you're going to miss it, buddy.
We've had phone calls. Stevie's had phone calls already from guys that said, I will take the challenge. If I'm the pole sitter, I want to take that challenge. I want those bragging rights. I want that $1,500. So, fans, there's a good chance that you're going to see at least someone try, if not possibly even do it. And I know there are a couple of guys that I absolutely know could do it. Absolutely.
All right, Larry, you said you had a list of 4 or 5. I also have a list of 4 or 5. Just for the hell of it, give me 2 of the guys off of your list, and I'll give you 2 of the guys off of my list. And let's see if we pick the same guys. And we haven't talked about this. We haven't
mentioned this at all. We haven't talked about this at all. Jared Beard would do it in a heartbeat. It's his track. He knows this track. He's won at this track I don't know how many times. Robert Elliott would do it. Robert Elliott loves this kind of challenge. This is what he lives for. And, we don't call him Mr. Sport Mod, as we said earlier, just because that's some kind of a nice little title that we've given him. The man has earned that title.
Absolutely. We picked one of the same guys. I think Elliott would do it in a heartbeat as well. He's always fast. He knows his way around that track. He's been fast at the new configuration. I think he's a guy that could definitely get it done. Like you said, he definitely earned his nickname. And I think another guy that would probably do it just because he lives wide open is the Hitman. I think Heston would definitely go for it.
He was on my list. He just wasn't. I just wasn't. I'm not that familiar with him, and I don't know whether he would want to just take that. I mean, you're giving up the pole. You're really giving something up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like. Oh, absolutely. It's like Frank said earlier. It's going to be if you start up front. If you start towards the middle, if you start towards the back, you're going to have to let what happens in front of you kind of dictate what you do. But, man, it would be rough, I'm telling you. That, like we had talked about earlier, the way the cars, if you start getting some long green flag runs in there, you're going to be running into traffic pretty fast. And he's like, you know, we talked about, you're not only racing each other, you're racing the traffic.
I got to tell you that there's probably some guys that aren't going to just pull over and let him lap them either.
Oh no, absolutely not. It's half of this is not about the money. The other half, I think, the bigger half is for the bragging rights. So
right.
Guys are going to run you pretty hard.
They're going to run you hard if they know you take that challenge, that you took that challenge. You know, our guys aren't crazy and they're not dumb. They're not going to tear each other up, but they're darn sure going to race you hard if they know you're trying to take that extra 750, just a little harder.
All right, who's your dark horse?
Oh, my dark horse. Oh, wow. I got to think about that one.
I had it down to two guys that I think could do it.
It kind of depends on who shows up.
Yeah, you are correct. You are correct on that. But we have our regulars that I think will definitely be there. I think one of my dark horses would be Cale Westover if he shows up, or Don Reed. Don Reed can get that job done.
Yep.
It's anybody. It's one of those events where anybody has a shot. I mean, if you make the show, you're in there. Depending on how your luck goes, how everybody else's luck goes, you could start 12th, 15th, 20th, and just depending on what happens in 50 laps. I mean, 50 laps is there's a lot of time there to tear up some stuff. But these guys know what they're doing. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. But man, I can't wait for tomorrow night. I know. It's one of those races that you circle on your calendar now that we're kind of established a little bit after what we saw last year, and I think this year, shorter track, better racing. I think it's going to be a hell of a show.
I think it is too. I hope somebody will go live with it, and I can at least catch it, the second time around or something. Hey, we've got another event coming up that's noteworthy, and that's an event for the show itself. Next Thursday night. Next Thursday night, we're going to celebrate our 50th episode of the Sooner Limited Modified Series show. We'll have a 2-hour show. We'll cover the Fallen Hero 50 and a whole lot of other stuff. Just because of it being our 50th show, we're going to expand to 2 hours. So put that on your calendar and be here next Thursday, and we'll have our 50th episode. That's amazing.
Yeah, I just had an idea, and I think we can probably make this happen since it's a 2-hour show. Since
Fireworks.
It's our 50th, let's take it all the way back to the very first show. Whenever I started this, way back when, Heston Shaw was my very first guest. Maybe see if we can get him to give us a call and talk about his success he's had so far this year with the series. I think that would be pretty cool.
Right? That sound good.
Fallen Hero 50.
I think Fireworks. Fireworks is a great idea. Oh wait, this is radio. Oh yeah.
Fallen Hero 50 tomorrow night, and I think the next race after that is going to be in Ada. What is that? The 29th, I think.
I think Steve says June 9th. Where are these? What?
June
where?
9th?
Why? Where did I see? I saw it. I know I saw it. Where did I see it?
I know I saw it too earlier on one of the multiple chats we have going.
Yeah, we have too many chats.
The next show is the next show is definitely Ada. I do believe it's the 9th. I think you're right.
June 9th at Ada. See that? I'm in New York, and I know that.
Thank you. June 9th at Ada. June 9th at Oklahoma Sports Park in Ada. That's going to be a good one, and I'll be there, I think. I'll check the calendar here. June 9th. Yes. On my calendar it does say June 9th at Ada, Larry, at Ada. So I won't be announcing down there, but I'll be there.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that trip down there or not. I've only been to Ada one time. Actually, that was the very first racetrack well, that's a lie. I saw the parking lot at Longdale and got rained out. Then we rode 4 deep in a single cab Chevrolet from Perry to Ada and back. Yeah, that was a hell of an introduction to Oklahoma racing.
Welcome to racing in Oklahoma.
They're already shooting. They're already shooting.
It was weird.
They're already
it's a good little racing track down there.
They're already shooting, guys. Yeah. Calvin Nemec is saying that Heston isn't a very good guest. Who better get somebody better. Laugh out loud.
Wow. That's your friends for you right there, Calvin Nemec and Heston Shaw, his buddy.
One of these days, we're going to tell the story. I'm going to do it. I think when he gets his first win with the series, I'm just going to go ahead and tell a story.
Yeah, we'll tell that story. We're going to tell that story. The wild man, the head man.
I think when we have him on, that'll be a good one to bring up to him. That was a great one. Folks, that's almost going to do it for us. But tomorrow night, Red Dirt Raceway, Fallen Hero 50 laps. Best sport mod drivers in the state. Man, you are definitely going to want to be there for that. Don't miss it. If you can't be there, I'm sure somebody will be streaming it. If you can't make any of that happen, next week, 2 hours, 50th episode, we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down in depth. And, man, I know it's going to be a great conversation next week. I'm already looking forward to that as well.
Absolutely. We want to thank Frank Stapp and Brandon Greitz for calling in and playing along with us and being such great guests. And we apologize for putting Frank on the... No, we don't. We don't apologize for putting him on the fire. We like putting people on the fire.
We're going to pay for that.
Yeah.
We'll pay for that.
Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks to Dirt Track Racing Network for giving us the opportunity to put on the show. Hey, tomorrow night, absolutely don't do what I'm doing. Go down to Meeker, go to Red Dirt Raceway, sit and watch these 50 laps. It's going to be a great, great 50 laps. If you are current or former military, if you are an EMT, if you are a fireman, if you are LEO, in other words, a law enforcement officer of any kind, show an ID at the gate. You get in the grandstands free. It's going to be racing at its absolute finest. And I understand we're going to do driver introductions in the front straightaway. It's just going to be a big, big night. I know Cody, he's going to have fireworks. The excitement level is going to be way over 100. You've just absolutely got to be there. So for now, for my partner Damian Edward Bean, for Richie in New York, for Stevie Slater, who's out tonight taking care of some family stuff, I'm Larry Carr. I'm going to say thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys at the racetrack.
This Friday night, live at Red Dirt Raceway, we don't just stand for our troops, we run 50 action-packed laps at our second annual Fallen Hero 50 Sooner Limited Modified Series race, live at Red Dirt Raceway this Friday night. Admission is $15 for adults. Children under 54 inches tall get in free. That's right, folks, 50 action-packed laps to pay respect to the heroes that never came home. Now stand up, raise your flag, and get ready for the loudest salute ever on dirt. The pole sitter that chooses to start last and wins will double your money. Presented by Patriot Dodge of Chandler, Oklahoma, the Fallen Hero 50 at Red Dirt Raceway. You won't want to miss it. Come out to Red Dirt Raceway and pay your respect to our fallen heroes of military, police, fire, and EMS. Anyone in uniform or with proper military, police, fire, or EMS ID get free admission this Friday night. The Fallen Hero 50, live at Red Dirt Raceway.